We'll start today in child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide, and hips back to heels. The arms are outstretched overhead, biceps framing the ears as the heart melts toward the earth. Allow the breath to flow here, filling up upper back and hips. And using the exhales to send softness through both mind and body. On the next inhale, begin to shift the weight forward, shoulders and wrists align, melting the hips towards the earth, rolling the blades back and gazing up, finding a back bend. Before exhaling, rocking the hips back toward the heels. Start to flow through this on your cycles of breath. As you come toward the back bend, you may even choose to lift the toes high toward the sky, dropping them back down to the earth as the hips rock toward those heels. Warming up through the spine, the shoulders and the hips. And being sure to keep the core tight and the glutes engaged, especially during that back bend, to help support the low back. From here, toes come down to earth. We'll start to lift up the knees for a plank position. Hips are in line with shoulders. Upper back is puffed, and we're engaging the body from heels to crown of the head. Finding your fire here, finding your strength. Before exhaling, shifting the hips back for downward facing dog. Belly presses to thighs, head is soft and relaxed. Feel free to walk it out, bending one knee, straightening the opposite leg, and alternating between the sides with every cycle of breath. Finding your stillness, we'll lift the right leg up and back in the inhale. Finding three-legged dog, bend the right knee and stack the right hip to the left. Press evenly between two hands, keeping the shoulders square to the top of the mat as you try to draw that right knee up a little higher. Exhale to release, right leg comes down, and we'll switch sides. Left leg comes up, knee bends, and then left hip stacks onto right, three-legged dog. Shoulders square to the top of the mat, right heel is melted down. Just open up through that oblique. At the next exhale, you'll release, left leg comes to earth. On an inhale, right leg sweeps up and back, and with that exhale, right foot steps outside of the right hand. Take a deep bend through the right knee. Before exhaling, straightening it out, shifting the weight back, finding that stretch through the hamstring. Now, I've grabbed onto some blocks here. I find it makes this flow a little more comfortable. Inhale, deep bend through the right knee. And exhale, straighten that leg to start to rock forward and back here. With the next exhale, you'll straighten that right leg and then start to send the right hand high to the sky, finding a twist. Think about stacking the shoulders and stacking the wrists. Perhaps that right arm even sweeps around the back. Exhale to release, two hands down to the earth. From here, let the pelvis drop, open up the chest, gaze up. And then exhale around that spine, puffing up the upper back. And once again, I'm using blocks under my hands here for a bit more support. Inhale to open. And exhale, rounding to close. Moving on your cycle of breath. Next breath in, find your neutral spine and step the right foot back to meet the left. Left foot steps up outside the left hand, and we'll do it again. Deep bend through the left knee. And then exhale, straighten that leg, starting to rock forward and back, just as we did before. As I straighten the left leg, I'm dropping the right heel to the earth, rounding my spine, pulling my nose toward my knee. Inhale to bend, almost dropping the right hip bone down to the earth. And just finding those lovely stretches through hip flexors, hamstrings. The next time you straighten that left leg, take a pause and then peel the left hand toward the sky, finding a twist. Squaring the hips as best you can, you may even choose to slide the left arm around the back, rolling that shoulder back, opening up the front of the delt. Next exhale, you'll release 2 hands back to blocks, and we'll take a bend through the left knee. Spinal flow. Inhale, extending the spine, gazing up, opening the chest. And then exhale, rounding that spine, chin toward chest, puffing up the upper back. Flowing here on your cycles. Last cycle in, and last cycle out. From here, you'll come to your neutral spine, and you'll step the right foot outside of the right hand, landing in a forward fold. Hands to blocks, knees bend enough that the belly presses to the thighs, and we're just allowing the head to soften and relax. You're welcome to reach for the heels, the calves, or the toes to pull yourself a little deeper. Hands float to shins. You'll find a flat back. Start to walk the feet out to about hip distance, toes turn to 45 degrees, and then sit down into a low squat. Blocks can be under hands, hips, or heels. And I'm just starting to rock side to side, creating a little bit of movement through my ankles, my inner thighs. The palms can come together, and the elbows can press to the inner knees. Hands come back to blocks. Let's exhale, straightening the legs, finding your way back into fold. Inhale, bend, sit down to squat. And exhale to fold. Once again, moving through this on your cycles of breath. Finish that last flow and place the hands back down to the mat before stepping back to downward facing dog. That's that upside down V shape, belly back to thighs, head is soft to relaxed. We'll pause here for a few cycles of breath. Feel free to wiggle and move, finding your comfort. Otherwise, press between the hands. Try to pull the belly back to those thighs just a bit more as you melt the heels toward the earth. On an inhale, lifting the left leg up and back, and then exhale, stepping the left foot outside of the left hand. Left arm reaches to the sky, and then we'll drop the right heel down and turn the left toes to the left, finding a side plank variation. Press firmly through the right hand as you draw the right hip toward the earth. With an exhale, you'll unwind, 2 hands down to the earth, left foot steps back, and right foot steps up. Right hand toward the sky, and then dropping to that left heel, right toe turns out. Think about pressing the left hip down, finding the stretch through the side of the thigh. Exhale to release, 2 hands to the earth, square the toes and the hips up to the top of the mat, and find your dragon. You may choose to rock the hip side to side or bend deeply through the knee, just adding a bit of wiggles and comfort here into your hip opener. When you're ready, start to straighten the right leg, placing the hands onto blocks for a little extra support, and round the nose toward the knee. Think of sliding the left hip bone forward. Inhale, flat back, and exhale to round. Flowing through this on your cycle of breath, hips and shoulders aligned, and then exhaling to that rounded spine. From here, take a bend through the right knee and then peel the left arm toward the sky, finding your side angle. You could keep the hand where it is, or you could extend that arm, left bicep framing the ear. This creates a deeper side body stretch. You have the option to stay as you are, or you could come to your bind. Hands meet by the right glute. With an exhale, we'll release. Right hand to block, left arm up and over, and then transitioning to triangle, right leg straightens. Option to keep your arm where it is, or option to slide the left arm around the back. The right hand could stay planted to block, or it could begin to reach out in front of you, bicep framing the ear, adding a little extra action through the torso and the upper body. Exhale to release. Both hands come back to blocks, and I'm flipping mine to the tallest setting. Start to square the hips and shift the weight forward, pressing the weight into the right leg until the left leg can float and lift. Keep the left foot flexed and think about spinning the left pinky toe towards the earth, maintaining the square through the hips. Perhaps you float the hands off the blocks. Maybe hands come to heart center as you balance. Warrior 3. With your next exhale, hands float back to blocks. Draw the nose toward the knee and peel that left leg high before bringing the left foot back down to the mat and finding a forward fold. Right foot steps back, and we'll find our dragon on the other side, creating a bit of wiggles, a bit of movement, just getting cozy here. Then with the exhale, left leg straightens, right heel flattens to the earth. Spine is rounding, nose pulls toward knees, and hands are on blocks. On the inhale, find your flat back, shoulders and hips align. And then exhale, rounding, drawing chin toward chest, flowing through this on your cycle of breath. Next time you flatten that back, take a pause. And then bend into the left knee. We'll find side angle. Left hand plants to block as the right arm reaches to the sky. Option to keep it there or option to extend, right bicep framing the ear. Option to stay there or option to move to your bind. Hands meet by the left glute. Wherever you are, keep the deep bend through that thigh. With an exhale, we'll unwind your bind. We're back into side angle before we transition to triangle by straightening the left leg. Right arm pulls around the back. And then you have the option to float the left hand off the block, reaching it out in front of you. With an exhale, we'll release. 2 hands to blocks. Square the shoulders and the feet up to the top of the mat and transition to your L stand. Left foot comes to the center of the mat, pressing the weight to the left leg so the right leg can lift and float. Shoulders and hips are in line. Right pinky toe is spun down towards the earth to keep those hips even. You may choose to float the hands off the blocks, hands coming to heart center, balancing in your warrior. With an exhale, hands to blocks, fold forward, kick that right heel up as the nose pulls to the knee. Releasing, right foot down to the mat. Let yourself fold, knees bend enough that the belly presses to the thighs. Sweeping the hands behind the back and interlacing the fingers, draw the knuckles up so the upper body can draw down. With your next exhale, release. Hands come to earth and you'll step back to downward facing dog. Hips high, belly presses back to the thighs. When you're ready, draw the knees to the earth and stack the blocks on top of one another. Right forearm to the block, left hand to the right side of mat as left ear comes to the earth. Just breathing here in a thread the needle variation. With your next exhale, we'll release, switching sides. Left forearm to the block stack. Right hand pulls to the left, and right ear rests to the mat. With an exhale, we'll unwind. Taking the blocks off one another, we'll place one hand on each of them and start to draw the heart towards the earth. If you prefer, you can do this without the blocks, or you're welcome to place the blocks under the chest for a bit more support. Final breath here. And as you exhale, you'll start to rise. Hands can be on blocks or earth, and we'll move through a few cycles of cat-cow. Inhale to arch the back, and exhale to round. Once again, flowing on your cycles of breath. Let's transition to Pigeon. Right shin pulls parallel-ish to the short side of the mat. Left leg straight back, hips are square. You're welcome to use the block under the right hip, or you're welcome to use the blocks under forearms, chest, or head. Starting to rest here. Finding ease in both body and mind. With your next exhale, we'll start to rise, unwinding, bringing the right leg back, and then sweeping the left leg forward, moving through the same position on the other side. Left shin parallel to the short side of the mat as that right leg is straight behind you. Ease into that rest, into that same variation. Come back to the connection of breath and to every little sensation that you're feeling. With the next exhale, you'll release, rising up, starting to shift the weight to the left as you sweep the right leg forward. Props can come off to the sides. Hands come behind the back. You just start to rock those knees side to side. Just allowing the sensations of practice to move through you. Give yourself a little stretch, a little wiggle, whatever you need to do. Whenever you're ready, you can move through your day energized and ready for anything.